The story begins with hushed whispers on a chilly October night, when the city seems to hold its breath and every shadow feels a little deeper than usual. The air is thick with anticipation, and the streets are cloaked in a fog that muffles footsteps and secrets alike. This is the night of Old Man Hemlock, a familiar yet distant figure seen by many but truly known by none. He pushes his battered cart through the city's shadows, collecting scraps and memories, his presence a silent fixture in the urban landscape. As Halloween approaches, rumors begin to swirl, stories of unmarked vans prowling the alleys, their headlights cutting through the darkness, searching for those society has forgotten. The city's most vulnerable feel a chill that has nothing to do with the autumn air. On Halloween night, Hemlock is last seen near an abandoned warehouse, a place avoided by most, shrouded in mystery and neglect. Then, he vanishes without a trace. Teenagers, daring each other to explore the darkness, claim to hear a muffled scream, a slamming door, and then, nothing but the echo of their own fear. The night swallows the sound, leaving only questions behind. By morning, Hemlock's cart is found abandoned in a rain-soaked alley, its contents scattered and forlorn. He's gone, along with others from the city's homeless community, their absence barely noticed by the world rushing past. The legend blames a secretive cult, said to use Halloween as cover for their sinister rituals. They target those who won't be missed, weaving their dark deeds into the fabric of the city's forgotten corners. Elaborate ceremonies hidden from the festive chaos above are whispered to claim the city's most vulnerable. The cult's presence is felt but never seen, their rituals masked by the revelry of the holiday. This story has become a staple of modern folklore, passed from one generation to the next. It transforms Halloween from a night of playful fright to one of genuine dread, reminding us that some fears are rooted in reality. It preys on our fear of the unknown, suggesting that the true monsters lurking in the night are not supernatural beings, but ordinary people capable of extraordinary cruelty. The tale of Old Man Hemlock lingers in the city's memory, a chilling reminder that for some, the horrors of Halloween are not just stories but a haunting reality that never truly fades away. The legend of Halloween kidnappings is a modern myth, a chilling story that has woven itself into the fabric of our seasonal traditions. It was born from the anxieties and uncertainties of the late 20th century, a time when rapid social change left many feeling uneasy and suspicious of the unknown. The myth gained real traction during the satanic panic of the 1980s, when fears of secret cults and ritual abuse gripped the public imagination, fueled by sensational headlines and dramatic news reports. Sensational media coverage and persistent rumors helped the story spread, first by word of mouth in neighborhoods and schools, then through the internet and social media, where it could reach even wider audiences almost instantly. Each retelling added new, often more frightening details, making the story feel local and urgent, even though there was never any real evidence to support it. The myth borrows from much older tales of vulnerable groups being targeted by shadowy malevolent forces, echoing centuries-old fears that have haunted communities for generations. In this modern version, the homeless and marginalized replace earlier scapegoats, giving the legend a familiar, haunting resonance that adapts to the anxieties of each era. Halloween's deep association with the supernatural and the unknown amplifies the story's power, merging real-world anxieties with the timeless allure of folklore and ghost stories. The holiday's eerie atmosphere, with its shadows and shifting identities, provides the perfect backdrop for such legends, ensuring they resurface every autumn as the nights grow longer. Ultimately, it's an old fear in a new disguise, thriving on our collective unease and the stories we share in the dark. Legends like these persist because they fit our fears. Confirmation bias makes us see patterns where none exist. The myth offers a simple villain and victim, making complex issues like homelessness easier to process. Fear is contagious. Stories of helpless victims and secretive villains are shared and remembered, bonding communities through shared anxiety. The legend also feeds on distrust of the powerful and the unknown, casting the wealthy as predators and the homeless as invisible prey. This dynamic resonates with feelings of injustice, making the story feel plausible to those already wary of authority. In the end, the legend is a psychological shortcut, easier to believe than to confront uncomfortable truths. When examined closely, the legend of Halloween sacrifices unravels. There's no credible evidence to support it. Law enforcement and experts have found no proof of organized cults abducting the homeless on Halloween or any other night. Missing persons cases are real, but they stem from varied individual circumstances, not coordinated rituals. The satanic panic was thoroughly debunked. Investigations found no evidence of widespread cult activity. Data shows no spike in homeless disappearances around Halloween, and organizations working with the unhoused report no such patterns. The real dangers are hate crimes, random violence, and neglect, not secretive rituals. Yet, the legend endures, fueled by its emotional power and the myth's built-in defense. The cult is simply too secretive to be caught. The true horrors for the homeless are not mythical cults, but real, everyday dangers, especially on chaotic nights like Halloween. Random violence, assault, and harassment are constant threats, often perpetrated by those seeking to harm the vulnerable. Exposure to cold, lack of shelter, and limited access to food and sanitation lead to chronic health issues and even death. The psychological toll, fear, anxiety, and isolation compounds the struggle, making recovery even harder. Holidays can make the streets more unpredictable, amplifying risks for those with nowhere safe to go. The real horror is being invisible and unprotected while the world celebrates around you. For the unhoused, survival, not superstition, is the nightly battle. Urban legends like this do real harm. They spread fear, deepen stigma, and isolate the homeless further. These stories don't just exist in the background, they shape how we see and treat people every day. When rumors and myths circulate, they create an atmosphere of suspicion and mistrust, making it even harder for those in need to find compassion or support. When we see the unhoused as props in a horror story, it becomes easier to ignore their suffering and harder to offer help. The more these legends are repeated, the more invisible real people become, lost behind the mask of fear and misunderstanding. Sensational myths distract from real issues, diverting attention from solutions like affordable housing and support services. Instead of focusing on what actually works, we get caught up in fear and blame, missing opportunities to make a difference. Sharing these stories online creates a false sense of awareness, while real action is neglected. It's easy to click share, but much harder to step up and support real change in our communities. The legend dehumanizes, reducing people to nameless victims and reinforcing the idea that some lives matter less. This mindset only deepens the divide between us and them, making empathy and understanding even more difficult. It also weakens our ability to think critically, making us more vulnerable to misinformation and conspiracy. When we accept these stories without question, we lose sight of the truth and the real people affected. In the end, these stories teach us to fear the wrong things and ignore the real problems. Only by challenging these myths can we begin to see each other with empathy and work toward real solutions. The antidote to harmful legends is critical thinking and compassion. Before sharing a scary story, pause and check the facts. Most are easily debunked with a quick search. Share real information about homelessness, not myths, and amplify the voices of those working for change. Support can be practical, volunteer, donate, or simply offer kindness to someone in need. By focusing on truth and empathy, we can dismantle stigma and replace fear with understanding. The legend of Halloween disappearances reveals more about our own anxieties than any real threat. Let's choose to see the unhoused as neighbors, not characters in a horror story. The real challenge is to confront the problems that leave people vulnerable, and to act with humanity.